Alright guys, so today I'm going to be talking about what I do on the side, which is flipping bikes to earn some extra money. So I have a full-time job, but I also do this on the side. So basically what I do is I find quads, dirt bikes, side-by-sides that are for sale online, and I basically try to find the ones I know I can make a profit on. I've been doing this for a few years now, so I kind of know the market, but that's pretty much my niche is quads, dirt bikes, and side-by-sides. So mainly I started with quads, did little dirt bikes, and I kind of moved up into flipping side-by-sides as well. So it's a pretty lucrative business if you know what you're doing. You can lose a lot of money, but you can make a lot of money as well. So main thing I want to go over today is the important aspects of that, how you can do it, how much money you really need to get started and invest, and then kind of going over the important details of making money doing this. So basically I'm just going to use this YFZ 450 as an example. I just picked this bike up. I paid $3,000 for it. My plan is to post it for $4,000, firm, not negotiable. It does have a title. The only difference between the way I picked it up and the way I'm selling it is that it's going to be very clean. So that's huge when it comes to selling anything. If it has the look, if you do, you take really good pictures of it after you cleaned it up, put a really good description, you could literally have something that's exactly the same exact machine, but just in better looking condition, better pictures, and a better description. And that's the difference sometimes between a $3,000 bike and a $4,000 bike. So I'm going to go into detail on what I'm going to be doing to this quad today to take this $3,000 bike and make it look like a $4,000 bike. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so main thing is the look of the machine. So obviously the machine has to run well. If you're going to be asking top dollar for the machine, it has to start well, it has to run well. There can't be any, major issues. Obviously it's not a brand new machine, so it's not going to be absolutely perfect, but we want to try and get it as perfect as possible. So I already kind of started on this machine. I taped off the frames. I'm going to be touching up the A-arms. So for example, you can see these A-arms are really beat up, which is really common for riding through the trails because you have all the rocks and branches and stuff hitting the A-arms, so they're going to get beaten up and it's going to wear off the paint. So, which is normal, but it doesn't look the best. So we're going to be fixing that today, as well as these plastics. So I already sanded them down. If you guys saw my last video with the Raptor, I'm using this stuff called Plastic Renew. Makes the plastics literally look like brand new, nice and shiny. And that's huge on these quads and dirt bikes, is how the plastics look. If they're clean, if they're shiny, it automatically, drastically improves the look of the machine. So we're going to be doing that as well. And then also we're going to be using some SC1 to shine up the plastic foot guards, the Nerf bars, the shocks, and all of that. So let's go ahead and get into that. Show you guys a little bit more of the machine here. Really nice machine, a lot of powder coat work done. No issues with the machine at all. It has a title, it's turnkey. So this is just going to be a clean and go type of sale here. All right, guys, so it's the next day, and we got the bike all cleaned up. This was just a pretty simple detail. I used the Plastic Renew stuff that I used in my Raptor video, so check out that video if you want to see how that's all done. It's pretty good stuff, pretty easy to use, but you can see the plastics look like brand new now, nice and shiny. Big difference from before. We also touched up the A-arms in silver. We used some SC1 on the frame and on the engine to really get it to shine and pop. So that's a big difference there. Other than that, shine up the wheels, tires, and that's pretty much it. She's ready to go. So like I said, guys, this is the main difference between, something that looks like it's worth $3,000 and something that's worth $4,000. So now I'm going to post some pictures and a description. But first, I just kind of want to go into some details on the whole flipping business, and just some insight and some tips on how you can get started, and just what to expect as well. All right, guys, so I wanted to go over some fine details of flipping bikes, what to expect, how much money you need to to start, and things like that, logistics. So the main thing obviously is you got to have the money to invest into machines. So you can have as little as $1,000, because you can pick up bikes sometimes for a couple $100, put a little bit of money into them, and then sell them and just kind of keep going from there. I mean, obviously, the more money you have to invest, the more units you can have, the more money potentially you can make. But the main thing is to make sure you know the market. You have to make sure you know what these machines are going for, because there's a lot of people that post bikes like this online for $7,000-8,000, and they're never going to sell for that. So you have to figure out, whatever you paid for the machine, are you able to make a profit, and if so, how much? And you also have to figure out, how much you're going to have to put into the machine to be able to turn that kind of profit. And if it's actually worth putting the money into, let's say you have to put, $1,000 into it, and you're only going to make $200 on it, it's probably not worth it. So you have to know that. Another couple of important details would be logistics. How you're going to get the machines. If you have a truck, do you have a trailer? Because if you have to rent a U-Haul or rent a trailer or something, it's going to start to get a little expensive. So having a truck or a trailer, is going to be pretty much necessary with something like this. And then also, do you have a place to keep the machines? Do you have a garage? Do you have a carport? Do you have a shed that you can keep them in? Because if you have them outside, they can get rained on, and makes them look like crap, and then you have the potential for somebody to steal them. So you have to take all those things into consideration. My recommendation is to start with, if you're not familiar, if you're not mechanically inclined, maybe start out with, something like a cheap little dirt bike, like a kid's XR50 or like a CRF70 or something like that. You can get those for under $1,000. Very simple, very easy to work on. It's a good starting point, and then you can level up into something like a 450, or even like a Honda 400EX or something like that, or a 450 dirt bike, something like that. So if you're not familiar, I would just say start small and kind of work your way up from there. But knowing the market is going to really be key to being successful in this business. Alright guys, so I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I always usually message everybody back who has any questions or anything. So if you like what I'm doing, if you like the content, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Trying to grow this channel. I'm trying to help you guys any way that I can. I mean, I do this all the time, so I love it. I also have a full-time job, like I said, but I do love doing this on the side. I love having new machines to ride. I love tinkering. I love working on things and taking something that was either going to be left out or parted out or scrapped or whatever, and turning it back into something that's a usable machine again. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.